What's wrong, buddy?
Well, I was just trying to get used to the new setup. It's like totally different. Yeah, it's more condensed, but I think it wasn't planned for that.
A little closer than usual, right?
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be for a while.
You better get used to it. Yeah, we'll be here for the next 4 weeks.
True.
Do you want to tell them why?
No, but you can.
Okay, after the intro. Hey there, underwater filmmakers, and welcome to another episode of reviewing your underwater films. Today in a much more intimate setting than usual, because Sebastian and I, we are in the process of recording and producing a complete new online course. So this is the setting that we're using for this online course, and we just don't really have too much time to be changing settings in between the online course segments and our reviewing segments that we do for the next couple of weeks. So we are getting used to this, I hope you are getting used to seeing us two much closer together. And having said this, let's have a look at whose video we're reviewing today.
Sure. Well, this video of this week actually is submitted by Jan Lellmann. And he was filming in Mexico with his GoPro Hero 10, and he said with some no-name video lights he bought, and he's actually diving in the cenotes. So
exciting.
Yeah, let's go into the cenotes.
Let's do. Awesome. Thank you very much, Jan, for your submission here and this lovely little film that we were able to watch. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty cool. It was very nice to watch. The music was very calm and going through
Right?
it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to start or should I?
Sure. Yeah, I can start. Well, the first thing I want to say is you had a very nice variety of different shots in there. I mean, you got like the usual ones from the diver from behind, which was not too excessive views. You had the diver passing by, diver coming head on to the camera. A really nice variety of shots. I liked that very much. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, I think this is Jan, I think this is a great example of also seeing where the limitations of a action cam like a GoPro, where they lie. I think you said it was captured with a GoPro, was it the GoPro 10?
10, yeah.
GoPro 10. Yeah, so even a more current model of the GoPro cameras. And you can see, because this environment has a lot of shadows and a lot of highlights, and the dynamic range of such an environment, such a scene, is quite intense. And smaller cameras, smaller sensors, usually filming in 8-bit, excuse me, 8-bit, they do normally have issues capturing such a scene to its, full potential and giving it back in the way that it was. And we could see this on certain shots here as well, where the shadows were crushed, the highlights tended to be a little blown out. But there's not really a lot that you can do, because you cannot really manually affect too many of these settings while being underwater. So it makes it more difficult to react to such situations. So I think that you've done a great job, considering this was taken with a GoPro. But it definitely shows us where the limitations of these cameras are. And that can be like an important takeaway for everyone else watching this as well. Just know the limitations of the cameras, and there's not much more that you can do here really than maybe you could have, if the lights of your dive buddy, if they were adjustable in the brightness, maybe you could have taken the brightness of those lights down a little bit to have less of a difference in between the brightest and the darkest areas, and maybe the camera would have been a little better in coping with that situation. But I mean, other than that, that was it was really nice. I really enjoyed it. You mentioned the music. I also think that the music was really cool. I really enjoyed the music. Great choice for the piece of, or for the footage that we saw. I want to talk about one or two specific shots that I saw, that I noticed. We were joking about snowflakes and stuff. First I thought it was actually backscatter, but it's not. It's a big chunks or big flakes that came off the ceiling, and it probably happened as probably yourself were swimming through that area first, and you bubbles were just touching the ceiling of the cenote and just making some debris coming down. Personally, I think I would have left these shots out. I would have not used them in the film, because that wasn't visible on any of the other shots. All the other shots, the water was crystal clear. There was no backscatter, no debris, nothing. And with these two shots, I would have probably just left them out. Or if you have the time, just waited around a little bit, a couple minutes until they settle down, and you have a clear view again. Yeah.
I agree, yeah, definitely.
What else? Have you gotten something else written down?
Well, first of all, I want to say something about the lights, which I think is really, really cool. You did it on several occasions. You put the lights off camera, which is fantastic. I remember one shot where the diver is coming into the shot, and I think there's a light in front of him, and there might be a light behind him. I'm not sure about that, but I think there was another one. And as well, you put I think it was your video light putting into your friend's hand, and he was lighting sideways the scene. So I think his normal torch was going straight, and he was lighting the background, which is a nice idea. As Matthias said, the GoPro has problems to cover a wide dynamic range, so you're just keeping the background lighten up a little bit to capture the scene in the way you want it. So I like that very much. Pretty cool.
I agree.
What I was wondering, and I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure if it was on the screen or I couldn't figure it out. It was the stabilization. I had sometimes the feeling that it was a little bit wobbling, but I couldn't say it's the GoPro, the stabilization of the GoPro,
Yeah.
or if it was in post. I don't know how you saw it, but
Yeah, it's difficult. I know what you mean. I saw that in some of the shots in the corners as well. But to me, it looked more like, there's two ways. To me, it looked more like the imagery wasn't stabilized in post-production, and there was that little bit of micro jitter that you do get sometimes. I don't know how you had the setting on your GoPro. If I remember correctly, the GoPro 10 has like a hyper stabilized mode or whatever they call it, and that might also lead to these like vibrations in the corners if you're using it also on like the ultra wide setting, field of view setting. So something, I agree, something was a little weird with the stabilization. Whether it is that you didn't do any extra post-production stabilization, in that case I would recommend to play around with that a little bit, adding some warp stabilizer. If you have done that already, well then I think you've gone just that tad too far, and you should probably just dial it down a little bit to keep it a little more natural looking.
yeah, and I think it wasn't like that obvious. It was more like we were looking for stuff and having a look at specific parts.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is like minor things.
Yeah, it's not like it's just wobbling or something.
It wasn't something majorly disturbing or something, but it's just something that we both noticed in the watching that film. Yeah, anything else?
Yeah, I got another point about the colors.
Yeah.
What I liked, Jan, was that you went for a desaturated look at I think most of the scenes. I'm not sure if it was intentionally or just the scene didn't get much of a color in it, and I like that. On the other hand, we had a lot of scenes where you got like this blue tint in it, and the others then with the yellow from the stone and the blue in the background. So, in my opinion, I would went with the desaturated look and just desaturate everywhere, because I think with the GoPro in that kind of situations to get it like lit correctly or not lit graded correctly is rather challenging.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You might have said, I don't know, with a GoPro, well, with a normal camera, you would have set the white balance maybe to specific output. To a specific value. But I think it's not possible with the GoPro underwater.
It's more difficult.
Yeah.
Well, you can also think about, and this is maybe like a side tip here, an extra tip. Maybe you can think about setting the white balance of your GoPro to the color temperature, Kelvin temperature of your lights that you're using. But again, this is difficult if the main light that you're using to illuminate the scene and the dive light of your dive body have different color temperatures. This is going to make it a little difficult.
Yeah, and especially Jan mentioned his email that's where no-name video lights from Asia. So I can imagine there might not be like, I don't know, 5600 both the same, or one is there and the other one is there. Plus
might not be very, very consistent, relying on the information. I agree, that's difficult then. Other than that, I do agree. I also prefer the more desaturated look of the images. I think it gives it something more, I don't know, airy and just something
the whole
nicer.
Atmosphere it creates with the music and in the sonoras.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I've got one more thing that I want to mention. If you
go ahead.
Yeah, I really want to stress and mention here the modeling. I think that you modeled it a great job, and I think that also you, Jan, did a great job in, placing your model always in the right spot of your image, which is not easy. I mean, we're not in an open space, right? We're constricted in smaller spaces. You have to kind of think ahead and decide where you want to position yourself, how your model is going to swim into the shot, because oftentimes it wasn't a stationary shot, it was a shot where your model was moving around in your framing, and I think you did a great job doing that. Oftentimes you had the model coming in head on. You had a couple of shots, as you said, sort of the traditional shots from behind, but they They worked fine within the combination of these shots, and your model was, it had some really good positioning, I find, which made it probably easier for you to do that too. But yeah, that was really cool. Also, I enjoyed that there was no other divers to be seen in your shots. And yes, with the cenotes that might be easier because there's not so many people there, but that can depend on what cenotes you go to, right? Some of them can be quite crowded, and I really appreciated that you took the time to make sure, and I do really think that was deliberate, that no other divers were in the in your frames, and this kind of made the whole experience a little more intimate as well, because it seemed like we were there just with you and not with a crowd of other divers. So yeah, I enjoyed that.
Me too, definitely.
Excellent. Have you got anything else?
I have nothing more.
Well, in that case, let me quickly sum up what we came up with as suggestions, or what we want to pass on to you. We really enjoyed, Jan, the impressions that you were able to show us using just a GoPro, right, in the cenotes. I think you've used the camera, you've got the best and most out of that camera. The use of your model, as I said, was really, really cool. I loved that. And the music choice, I think, was perfect for that kind of footage that we saw. Yeah, what can you work on for future projects? I think that color matching is a topic that you should be concentrating on, making sure that you do match the individual shots to one another a little better. There is actually a video that I made a little while ago that goes into that topic, how to match different shots so that they look nicer together and match better color-wise to one another. I'll link it up here and down in the video description as always, so feel free to watch that if you haven't seen it yet. What else did I write down here? Yeah, try with the snowflakey shots that we had in there that we mentioned earlier on. Again, I would try not to use shots in the final edit that are not ideal. So if you're not perfectly happy with the shots, maybe you wanted to have that in there, then it's fine. But if it wasn't a deliberate choice, then I would have kept this out. And lastly, try to work a little more on the stability, whether that is using post-production stabilizer or just dialing it down a little bit so it doesn't overcompensate the stabilization. So those are the main tips that we want to pass on to you today.
Excellent. So, Jan, thank you very much for submitting a film. And we will link the video from Jan
Exactly.
in the description below. Go there, visit his channel, and leave a comment, leave a like. And yeah, if you're already in the mood, as always, giving likes, giving thumbs up, give our channel a like, thumbs up. Let us know what you think about our reviews, what you think about Jan's video. And if you want us to, I was actually thinking what's next. If you want us to review one of your videos, please feel free to send us an email to contact@matthiaslebo.com. Put the link to your video in that email and let us know a little bit about the video, where it was taken, the camera you used, video light, something like that. Right now, we have actually a long wait time. Matthias might help me out there.
Yeah, I might relieve you of your long talking time. You know how I feel now. Yes, we have about 9 months of wait time right now, but you can be as smart as Jan and jump the queue if you want to by subscribing to our channel membership, the Underwater Filmmaker membership.
Championship.
No, it's a championship too. No, but the Underwater Filmmaker membership plan that will prioritize your submission here, besides giving you other benefits like discounts on our digital products, online courses, and so on. So feel free to check that out by clicking the button just below the video which says become a member, and that will take you through the entire onboarding process there. If you decide to become a member, we really appreciate your support and your help there financially to keep us capable of producing these reviews and the other content that we make here on the channel. So thank you very much for that. And that's pretty much all from us for today. There's not much more to say then. Thank you so much for your time, for watching, and we wish you an awesome week. Keep capturing your amazing underwater adventures, and we will see you
next week. Bye, guys.
next Thursday. Bye bye.